kind of leads into a lot of how both those teams matched up. And again, for Trust, massive match for them tonight as they go up against Vitality, where they could potentially also overtake M&M, or actually I think that would be put them on equal points at that stage. So really narrow right at the top four.
So much fun to watch at this point. It really is anybody's game. You know, I never like to see leagues sewn up in the, 2 or 3 weeks before they finish. I love it when it gets like this and you're down to the last week or two and you've still got teams just juggling positions ahead of each other and jostling for those spots. But looking over to the match at hand, then we are heading over to Consulate Supremacy versus GoSkilla, and looking at the early bans, we've got some interesting ones. We've got Thermite and Nomad going for the attackers. Not too much of a surprise. Nomad able to stop a lot of those aggressive runouts Thermite used so effectively to open up that garage door particularly. We've also got Valk going. We know how important she can be on Consulate. Just 2 or 3 of those Valkyrie cams can cover about 80% of the external areas of the map, and then Mirror will make up the final one. Mirror not always a popular ban on Consulate, but she does have her uses.
Does have her uses, that's true, and I kind of question GoSkilla in their Thermite ban. Sure, Thermite hard breacher, and we have seen this before on a map like Consulate, but Thermite is only strong on one bomb site, and that's the garage. I don't agree with taking away an operator that is only ever played for one bomb site. So what? By that logic, you are basically taking away an operator that's only played 2 out of 6 rounds?
Like you say, unless that's particularly done to target a specific player. But again, in Thermite's case, it's unlikely because, you could just switch Thermite out for somebody like Thatcher. His gun is extremely similar. If you're good on Thermite, the likelihood is you're going to pick Thatcher up. Or, if that's the operator that you just want to play because that's the operator you play, there's others that can do it in place with very similar weapons.
Like, you ban Thermite and then go mid-floor where Thermite doesn't do anything in this bomb site anyway. I'm puzzled. Why not ban an operator?
There are certainly questions to be asked, Demo. That is fair.
There's Ying, there's Glaz, there's Dokkaebi. Those are operators that can do wonders in every single bomb site.
Glaz, I mean, I know we've been seeing a lot less Glaz play, but if you're going to be heading for lobby as your primary site, Glaz can be your worst enemy. Obviously, he's not been picked here because they're not expecting that site, but, if they do potentially rotate back to it in future, that could be something that really does come back to bite them.
Alive does get his Ash back in his hands, and, well, we've seen he was good on Maverick. Boy, you haven't seen nothing yet, as he, I'm sure, will start to be that main driving force for his team. Supremacy, how will they approach this? Typically, the double door smoke plant strategy is long gone. We never really see that anymore. Teams like to take a lot more slower, try and control the upstairs, and then work their way in. I just think it's just teams have adapted to the whole, smoke plant. Possibly it's because that strategy was heavily used whenever Glaz had, the 2-shot kill, whenever Ying had smokes, and also before Maestro was released.
The IQ
you okay there, Tactus? You okay?
IQ of Tactus desperately trying with the pistol there, and the IQ gadget to take out that ping that it was showing, but will not have any joy. We will have Supremacy coming out with that first kill though. D-Juice getting the kill onto Oscar Mosca. That's going to take the mute off the board. His utility will largely already be in place, but it is a man lost nonetheless. Steegy getting himself in and around that admin area on the smoke. He's going to want to keep himself alive as late as he can. Those Toxic Babe canisters being extremely important in the late round. Alive for the time being, playing a slow game so far, 1.5 minutes. He's, as you said, he's got his Ash back in his hands, but he won't actually have approached even into the internal of the map yet. So being held at bay. K6, we did comment on him before, and he gets a good headshot onto Steegy. Panari will trade that out with a kill onto Tactis though, so that leaves us 4 versus 3, still in favour of Supremacy, and we now have Alive deep inside. D-Juice with a kill onto Panari, leaving us 4 versus 2, and Alive is allowed to move freely around site now. Move on the Echo, gets himself downstairs, just transitioning between piano and main lobby there, but this is going to be hard. There is no other way to say it. 4 versus 2 now, and Supremacy have got the diffuser in hand. 50 seconds to go. They just need to start thinking about when and where to plant.
Supremacy, they have upstairs control. They could literally just walk in towards circle desk, plant behind that, and that's a round 1 from there. You can see the pressure being applied by DJs as he will come in contact with the Echo. He does land a couple of shots, but the MP5 SD a very low damage output. He will scurry away back up the yellow stairs. Kalinsky, he's just sitting here holding an angle. He's not doing much to try and stop the diffuser. As we'll see Echo try and swing on round before Alive will find him. It goes into a 1 versus 4. Kalinsky, don't think you can do much here in this scenario. Diffusers are being planted. This is one of the hardest retakes that a Defender can ever do in any maps. Supremacy. Clean round from them. Nice and polished. Supremacy, today, they've looked on top of their game.
Certainly have, and I've got a question. You know, we questioned it beforehand. Got to question the site choice there. Going straight into lobby, it's certainly not one of the strongest sites. We talked about the potential tactics of doing that earlier. If you get your win there, you've then got 2 strong sites to follow it with. But I think Vitality just never really got any sort of foothold in that round as defenders. They just lost men no matter where they were trying to play them. They lost top floor control very, very quickly. Like you said, Supremacy doing exactly what they needed to and pushing downstairs into site, getting the diffuser into play as well, and just making it very difficult. Alive, getting himself a couple of kills, and that well could be very important for the rest of this game. If Alive is not slowed down in the next round or 2 and is allowed to start picking up 2 kills, 3 kills per round, believe me, GoSkilla are going to have an uphill struggle.
One thing that also kind of gets me with GoSkilla is that they're giving Supremacy what Supremacy want. If you want to try and stop French teams, you take away the checklist kind of format that I go to. I think Extreme kind of don't follow that same playstyle. Extreme are very unpredictable at times, but for Vitality and Supremacy, typically you can call what they're going to do before the round kind of starts. On a map like Consulate, you need to play aggressive. You need to try and take the fight to a lot of the attackers. If you give attackers control, they will do havoc. We've seen this time and time again on destructible maps. If teams can just checklist off what they want and get their bucks and sledges in, there's no point if you defend the site. You may as well just try and take the frags.
You might. So heading into the action phase now, we have got a garage hold, and we're going to have Alive moving very quickly into the building so far, but he will get himself back outside and head up to the top floor. I don't know if he's got some information that there's a roamer up there, but there certainly is one. We can see the silhouette. I think there's actually 2 playing top floor. Not always normal for a garage hold, but I don't think it's necessarily a negative, and there is definitely strength in keeping yourself upstairs and making it difficult for the attackers to feel comfortable approaching the site. As it stands, they're going to move a very quick drop, and this could be dangerous because we've got 2 defenders, remember, on the top floor. So with Alive and DJs heading very quickly into site, this well could go as a bit of a landslide. We're going to see Move and Kalinsky, though, getting kills onto Tactics and Alive. Poseidon with one of his own onto Oscar. Mosca puts us very quickly into a 4 versus 3, and that rear rush has just failed from Supremacy, really. Well held from above, particularly with the kill from the Maestro of Move, but DJs will still remain in there and get himself a kill onto Steegi. That is a big fragger gone, and that leaves us 3 versus 3 with a minute and a half to go.
The rush didn't pay off in that scenario. DJs did well, though, to manage to kill that smoke, a massive pinnacle anchor, and Panari doing better, finding Poseidon, who swung in upstairs. Not entirely sure what the buck's at. Maybe tried to open up above the players inside of piano and bathroom, but still, GoSkilla, all 3 players are upstairs. 2 members, the final 2 members of Supremacy, are downstairs. So now we have defenders playing as attackers and attackers playing as defenders. DJs and K6 would expect them to do well in these clutch scenarios, but K6 will bite the dust to that Alda, and will also bite it again. DJs, he will fall. Great retake from GoSkilla. Find the diffuser, guys. Come on. There you go. Starting to worry. That was like 3 blind mice at a stage.
Good attempt from Supremacy to get themselves onto site and get that diffuser down, but ultimately GoSkilla had a plan and they operated it very well. They did exactly what they wanted to do, I think, and you know, performed a very good retake there from the top floor position. I don't think Supremacy there had too much of an idea. They got themselves into sight from that rear rush, which was well played. It was, you know, it's always worth an an attempt at least, but Move protected it very, very well from that bathroom hatch and just prevented them being able to gain any real momentum. Even though DJuice was able to keep himself alive in there, they then lost a couple more players, and even with the diffuser down, it just made it very, very difficult for Supremacy at that point.
We'll have a rehost Panari. It's crashed. I think he left some of his onions in the oven. He's a big fan of the onions. Did you know that? I believe he calls it an onion or something like that. But yeah, just making his pancakes. He'll be right back, guys. Do not worry. But still, I think there's stuff to talk about there. Supremacy and GoSkilla. You can see Supremacy, they're up for the fight. They're up for the aggression. And GoSkilla, they matched at that time.
Yeah, I think you've got to look at that first round. Supremacy did a very good job, very aggressive, cleared out top floor very well, gained control of site and won the round. That said, it is one of the weaker sites on this map. So they've tried the same aggression then on a slightly more powerful site, and they've struggled. GoSkilla have done a much better job of defending it, and I think that potentially just comes down to that difference in sites. So from what I've seen out of them first 2 rounds, I would say that the GoSkilla win in round 2 is probably more indicative of how this match is likely to go rather than the Supremacy win in round 1.
For a map like Consulate, it kind of goes back and forth between attacks and defense. Upstairs, a bit of a 50-50. I think downstairs certainly has more going for defenders. Only thing that is a bit of a downside is that retake potential is extremely strong for a garage. As a defender, as of course once diffuser gets planted, attackers sit right at the back of the map, hold angles, very difficult to retake from that standpoint. But for the upstairs, there is retake potential. The C4 potential from below is always something that really excels for the defenders. The fact that Pulse is being let on Consulate is something that should always be taken into consideration. I think this is Pulse. It's probably his best map, I think, out of any ESL map that we have, simply because he can sit inside a server for an upstairs defense, and he can gain intel to see, oh, look, they've all spawned towards the admin side. It's going to be an admin take. Oh, nobody's here. It's going to be a yellow. That's the options that you have for an upstairs, is either you take from yellow and try and plant in B, or you take from admin and try and attack in A, and that's where Pulse excels because he can see for both of them.
Yeah, and I think you're right there, Demo. Pulse, an operator who is extremely powerful on here. If you can't have the Valkyrie, have the Pulse and get that information on the locations. It's not often that I would say that Valkyrie outstrips Pulse. I think they're both very powerful on this map, but arguably, you know, Valk does have it just because of the sheer volume of maps she can cover. Yeah. But with a band out, Pulse, it's almost a no-brainer.
Yeah, what you said about Valk just gives that little bit more. We talk about Pulse having the early intel. Valkyrie does the exact same thing. Plus, you can also use a spare one just to have that site control. So, and that's why we see Valkyrie being banned out, because she gives that early intel, and she can also see 4 below with a camera being placed inside of the bomb site. Both very similar operators, but Valkyrie just for Consulate edging her way into it. So we move into round number 3 after that short rehost. Panari, he's managed to make his pancakes. Another cooking stream. When? We'll never know. If Panari qualifies for Pro League, will we see a cooking stream? Let's put it to him.
I think that'd be a fair suggestion.
Come on, man. Everybody wants it. Whenever he comes back and rewatches this, Panari, here's the option. If you make Pro League, you do a cooking stream in celebration. Deal or no deal. You be the decider.
Looking towards round number 3, then we come into it 1 apiece between GoSkilla and Supremacy. We've got GoSkilla on the defense still. They will play out the first 6 rounds on defense. They've taken a loss in the lobby and a win in the garage, so now they will bring things up to top floor. Now, in terms of what we've seen so far, Supremacy did a very good job of taking top floor control when we held in lobby, so that would certainly beg the question, is that going to translate to this round where they're attacking the top floor? I think this will be played considerably differently by GoSkilla. They only had, I think, 2 or 3 men top floor. I think they'll probably play a much stronger presence on the top floor this time. As you say, Demo, without that Pulse, they're not really going to have anybody who's looking to play underneath because there's no real C4 potential. I know they've potentially got one on Move, but that's the answer to that. DJuice takes Mute out very, very quickly with Move just taking the early death for his team there. 30 seconds in and a good start from Supremacy. Again, we're seeing we're seeing this aggression from Supremacy is lasting, and it's no wonder. They are a team who has to get wins. If they don't take the fight to their opponents, if they don't try and apply this pressure, they're going to be out of the Challenger League. So really, they need to go and get these wins, and I'm impressed with what I'm seeing from them tonight.
I like the fact that GoSkilla is trying to take that aggression, but there's a very thin line between aggressive playstyle and running out and just getting killed because you're not thinking about how you could die. That's the thing about aggressive players. They always think about, okay, if I jump out, what happens? Seems to be that we did not see Mute do that in that scenario.
We did not. We're going to be looking with 1:30 to go then. We've got Panari on the Jaeger playing hard at the top of yellow. Rightly said, Demo, there's two real approaches to this site, and one is from yellow stairs, the other is from admin. So Panari's just going to hold himself there. I don't think he's going to see too much attention. It looks like the majority of the Supremacy attack is going to be coming from the admin side. We have the Dockerby calls coming in. Panari clearing that off his phone very quickly so that he can be ready to challenge should anybody approach. Alive is starting to become very dangerous now. Gets a kill onto Kolensky, but meanwhile you did see Panari just dash underneath and start to look for that flank. If he comes up the admin stairs, he might get a bit of joy, but he's going to have to be quick if he wants to do so, because at the minute the pressure is certainly mounting onto site. Alive not paying too much attention to those stairs, and Panari will get one onto D-Juice, probably with a run out, I think, and he's just going to head himself back over towards yellow stairs there to challenge from that direction. But we can see a great view there as Alive picks up that diffuser and starts looking to move towards site. K6 takes the head off Stiege, and that is going to bring us now to a 4 versus 2, and pressure is starting to build on site. Oscar Mosca, he must be sweating on the dock, but Panari will get himself a second onto Tactis. He's going to be able to flank round and come in from the rear, but Alive will be alive to the danger and will get the kill as Panari moves in. K6 finishing things off with the headshot onto the dock, and another good round in the bag for Supremacy. They are going nowhere.
That's classic Supremacy. They took control of admin. Like we talked about, you can only take control of yellow, or you take control of admin. Take your pick. And it's just, I think Supremacy just letting GoSkilla sweat. Let them panic. Let GoSkilla make the mistakes, and then Supremacy capitalizes on it. I think we can also say that for Vitality. I compare Supremacy to Vitality a lot, because they do have very similar playstyles. Whenever they see a mistake, they will capitalize on that mistake. You know, you looked at Supremacy versus Vitality. Going back, I always think back to that Buck versus the Mute. K6 versus Qual. K6 won that battle, and it was just that error where he missed his shots and they capitalized on that mistake. That's just what Supremacy is about.
It is indeed, and we are heading into round number 4 now, and Supremacy is starting to look like a team that is going to be difficult to stop tonight. We're seeing GoSkilla head back to that lobby objective, but we saw them bring it out in the first round, and they really didn't get anywhere close at all. I'd have suggested the top floor attempt again would have been probably a better option for them, because Supremacy absolutely ran over them on this objective in the first round. But I'm sure that GoSkilla have got something in the books that they're going to be trying. I'm sure they're going to adapt. I'm sure they're going to change things. Stiege, I think, is a player that we're just seeing stifled so far, and Supremacy are doing a good job of that. Haven't really said his name much, haven't really seen him on the kill feed, and if you can keep a player like that out of the game, then you are certainly on the path to winning.
GoSkilla will have another attempt at their lobby. Last time Supremacy, they took it pretty comfortably. They took what they needed. They took the upstairs control, and they just worked their way in. It was, I believe, it went to a 1 versus 4, and eventually the round was won by Supremacy. So, for GoSkilla, what do they need to do differently? And I think the aggression still needs to be there. I'd love to see them try and challenge some of these attackers unaware of some positions. I still think Pulse is what they're missing. An operator who can give that intel, an operator who can get an early pick. One strategy which I think is very underutilized, a very strong one, is that you play your Pulse in the bottom levels of the map, and if you look at the back Visa stairs, you look straight up and you will see a floor above you. You see for that is the section in between the doorway, where typically A-bomb would be inside of the meeting room, and the cross in towards that soda. If you see 4 right in the middle of that, you will always pick up a kill, and that's one thing which I don't understand teams aren't doing. However, the early kills come in, the Jews will find Stiggy before Panari. Refrags, and we'll find the Ash. Alive goes down, and more kills come in. This time it will be the down, actually. It's going to be, wow, the mute gone. I see 4 off the board. K6 finds Panari as he tries to retake, and Kalinski, he is now stuck inside of bathroom. Awkward position to be in. He finds one for his troubles. You have to give credit for it, but how much can he get? Not a lot. Siding buck straight through. Very low HP was the castle. Oh well, it's down to your friendly neighborhood Maestro. He finds the headshot on the G-Juice. A great bit of gun work, but Hans took a lot of damage for it. And it's Poseidon versus Tactics versus the Maestro.
Move is having a great game so far. He's just potentially going to get a view onto the plant here, but that will be faked out as Poseidon just drops off the diffuser. I think he's just seeing if he can bait the Maestro in here. The smoke grenade comes out just in time, but Move moves in and gets a fantastic kill as the ping comes in on Poseidon. That downs the diffuser, and that really could be a defining moment in this round. Great use of the cams inside the objective there, just to ping that planting attacker so that Move could get the kill through the smoke regardless. Tactis has the opportunity to just move quickly along this bottom floor and get a plant off. That is not going to be plantable territory though, unfortunately. Tactis, you're going to have to find somewhere else. So he gets himself into the corner of Piano there. Is this going to stick? No, he just backs off, and as he does, Move will drop from the hatch and finish things off with a kill onto Tactis. Very good defense from GoSkilla there when it looked like it was going so wrong.
That Maestro camera is a very weird one, because personally, I don't think that does a whole lot for the defense. That piano isn't really the plant location that attackers want to go for, but really, in a 1 out of 10 chance, that Maestro camera single-handedly won GoSkilla that round. So a risk paid off for them. But still, I think that moving that Maestro camera, possibly putting 2 of them inside of the circle desk, would be the more norm thing to do, because that's where typically every attacker wants to go for. They take control of upstairs, open up double door, try and walk in and go for the plant. You have double Maestros, works well. But, hey, who am I to judge?
Paid dividends that time. Like you said, Demo, ultimately there's always, and that's the great thing about Siege, you know, you could look at any bomb site and there's 10, 15, 20, 100 ways to set it up, and sometimes you take a little risk like that and you just put a Maestro camera somewhere unusual and it's going to turn around and win the round for you. So great plays there from GoSkilla to take the risk on that one. We're going to see them head back to top floor now. They're doing well to keep themselves in this against what is so far a very aggressive Supremacy side. I don't think Supremacy are maybe taking enough advantage of the positions that they're getting themselves into. That last round, for example, really probably should have been a win for them. They had some good early kills, but GoSkilla certainly are no slouches and are keeping themselves in this very nicely. So we're going to see round number 5 back in console. They struggled on this one last time as well. It was a very good admin take from Supremacy. Do you think Supremacy would be better to mix this up and head over to yellow stairs Demo, or do they stick with that admin push?
It's a hard one to call for the most parts. Overall, for the players of GoSkilla, I think that this is probably the correct decision, but we know Supremacy. They'll use utility and what they want to. They're not like Vitality, who like to save all of their utility for the final hurdle. They will use it early just to get themselves in to a great position, and certainly if they take control of admin, find a kill for themselves, then that could work wonders. Alive, he may be looking to try and play aggressive up the stairs, and if he finds a pick, like we know he loves to do, then this could accelerate Supremacy into a different league going into this round.
Alive is definitely playing with a lot of aggression so far tonight. We saw him have a great game on Oregon in the first match that we saw Supremacy play, and he is absolutely flying here again. You can just see it in his movement, how aggressive he is, getting straight up them stairs. There was about barely 30 seconds gone in the round, and he's already moving up towards that A site. As it is, he's just tempered his aggression a little bit. He's moved back out, he's getting the drone in there, he's seen at least a couple of operators, and as you can see, Supremacy now have got some excellent coverage of the admin side and some great map control to start building this attack. They've got 1 minute and 30 left. Alive is going to take the floor out of the site and just see if he can start to get peaks on any of those players that he saw, but Oscar Mosca will come in with a great headshot onto Alive, so that is going to lose the first man for Supremacy. 1 minute 20 to go, and they need to start thinking about getting some pressure applied to site here. I think they could lose another one if they try to push into site. We've got an operator just hard right on the door there. Goo Mine's going off left, right and centre. Tactis with a kill on to move, but that will be traded out by Panari onto Poseidon. 4 versus 3 now, a minute to go.
Lensky holding firm instead of that bathroom, just like we've seen the last time they tried to defend this bomb site. But the damage has been done. Gate 6 is even. Downed. Unlucky K, but still. Tactis and DJs, they will have to try and go at it. Whips out the pistol rather than the para. Thinking emoji. As it goes into a 1 versus 4. DJs, he will start to rotate up, potentially try and pick up K6, but I don't think he's going to be able to get it off in time before they realize. But no, actually, he will successfully. But still, now both of them are stacked up outside of the balcony. This should be a lockout round for GoSkilla. They should be able to take this round and make it work. Panari rotating correctly over towards those staircases. And again, the Toxic Babes will do the damage. This is going to be a lockout round. GoSkilla, they take round number 5. Supremacy, they don't know what to do. They jump in, they die. That's all she wrote.
DJs and K6 with very little option there other than to just dive in through those balcony windows and take what was coming to them. So that will be round number 5 going in favour of GoSkilla. And I've got a question. That Tactis decision, you mentioned it at the time, Demo, coming up the stairs with the pistol there instead of the para. And the thing is, he put the first shots in and then lost the gunfight. I think with the para and the extra recoil, maybe he hits a headshot there as it bounces up. If not, he's got 2 or 3 bullets flying in that time and maybe wins the gunfight. Very strange choice there from Tactis.
Intriguing to say the least, but as we head into our next defense, it will be the last one for GoSkilla on console. It's going to be Garage and Cafeteria at the meantime. And last time Garage, it did go in favour of GoSkilla. Quite interesting from GoSkilla. They have went Lobby, Garage, Console Office, Lobby, Console Office, Garage. So they have went for 3 bomb sites that are most played. We did not see the Visa side of things being played out. But overall, yeah, I think it's been a good half for GoSkilla, and again, whenever they have Stiggy down on an Ash, they can do anything.
They certainly can, and like you say, I think at this point, if they can get themselves 4-2 into that attacking phase, it could certainly spell the end for Supremacy. Not necessarily, they've been playing very well, but I think if GoSkilla do get into that dominant position coming into the attacking phase, I think it's going to be very, very difficult. So, looking towards the current round then, round number 6. If Supremacy can come out here, taking this round and get themselves into the half in a 3-3 position, I think they'll be quite happy with that from here. They really struggled on this site last time. It was something that GoSkilla defended extremely well. There's no thermite, so opening up that main garage door is difficult. So you start having to look to the hatches, look to the rear push, and that was something that Supremacy did. They got themselves downstairs, but they just didn't manage to make it pay any dividends. I think GoSkilla were very ready for it. The move was in the bathroom, wasn't cleared out of there, and he had a bit of a field day from the hatch, and then just finished things off. So great players all round from GoSkilla last time they were on this site, and I'm not really sure what Supremacy need to do differently here.
Supremacy, they need to try and focus a lot more in their control aspects of things. I would like to see them maybe take control off the top floor, then work their way into mid floor. They're bringing the buck for that reason. Use Poseidon, utilize that skeleton key, can really rip up a lot of these players if they manage to pick up the Maestro. Very early kill. It kind of leads into the playstyle of, hey, we can just walk in and plant. There's going to be no denial from the Maestro cameras. And even the Maestro with the LMG, we know that even in his own right, that LMG being able to pre-fire rapidly with the 81 mag can do a lot of damage. But we do see that Kaid being brought, so those hatches should stay intact at the moment, unless we do see the rotate or somehow Poseidon can find an angle with a skeleton key, but a very difficult one at that. It just kind of shows the power of Kaid. Whenever there isn't a crucial way of getting rid, or an easy way, unless you're bringing Thatcher, it does cause problems. And already that AUG causing problems as DJs, he falls.
DJs falls, and that leaves us 5 versus 4 with 9 operators on the board coming into the final minute, which likely signals a bit of a bloodbath in the final stages of this. We've still got a number of Supremacy operators playing upstairs, looking to use those vertical angles through that piano floor to see if they can take out any of these GoSkilla operators, but so far no joy. GoSkilla very happy to just play this patiently in sight, and Move will get shots out there onto the stairs, but won't manage to get a kill. He will be downed and finished off from upstairs though. Poseidon starting to make that top floor control pay. 30 seconds to go, and we are now 4 versus 4, and this is going to come down to a very late rush, getting hit by goo mines as they try to approach site. K6 gets a kill onto Kolensky, and they've managed to get that garage door open, something they didn't really try to do last time, and that could be telling. Askomoski gets a kill onto Tactis, but Alive will trade that one straight back out. We are 3 versus 2, but 2 quick kills from Panari could decide this round as we have a ring around the roses, and I think that is an operator down. It is indeed K6 getting the kill onto Panari, but time will get the better of him. He doesn't have the diffuser, and he can't find that final defender who does exactly what he needs to do, keeps himself alive, and wins the round for GoSkilla. 4-2 now.
Well, we could be on for GoSkilla trying to certify their lead. If I'm not mistaken, if the stats don't lie and the way the points have worked out, if GoSkilla even take a draw, I think they have solidified themselves a playoff position. M&M, as it stands, have now secured themselves a playoff position because N did drop points against Pact. Pact beating N 7-5, really just free in the spanner, so we now know that M&M will join Vitality inside of the playoffs, so congratulations to them. And, well, we do have some British people up there, finally, in a playoff. So, last team that did that, well, as we know, Team Secret.
And only time will tell whether M&M will be able to follow in their footsteps and get themselves all the way into Pro League. But let's be honest, there is some very, very good competition, and there are issues that M&M do need to be addressing and ironing out. We saw, them struggle to a draw against Extreme there, and mistakes were made, and they really do need to just increase that consistency. When they play well, they play very well, but, they do have a bit of a lack of consistency sometimes, which I'm sure they'll be looking to address. So, back to our current match, we've got Supremacy now on the defence. We are 2-4 on the scoreline, and I can see GoSkilla coming into this attacking phase with some real momentum, and I think they're going to get aggressive.
For GoSkilla at this stage, they just need to play their game. That's all they need to do. They don't need to do anything flashy, nothing fancy. Just take it nice and slow. Supremacy at this stage, I think their morale has been knocked a little bit from their attacking phase. They aren't really up to the same caliber of what we've seen at Vitality. Their fraggers really haven't been here. We're missing K6. Where's he been? Maybe as a squad, but overall, GoSkilla, they've started to have their fraggers there. They've took Staggy off Ash. I am sad.
Well, Panari, we'll see what he can do. He's certainly been hitting some shots. He's had a good couple of kills so far in the last couple of rounds, 2 just in the last round alone. So we'll see how that plays out. But, like you say, it's just here about taking it steady, getting the result that they need. That's what they need to focus on here, is the result. They've got themselves 4-2 up. They don't want to get carried away. They don't want to start chasing kills or anything like that. They just need to play their game now, get themselves into position for the execute, and then push from there and just make sure that they've got all their angles covered. Don't make any silly mistakes. Don't leave yourself open to any easy kills. And we've just got a bit of a cat and mouse game going on around yellow stairs there. I think fully aware that there's an operator playing on those yellow stairs from Supremacy. Steagy looking to apply some pressure here from the Capitao. He's just going to get his drone in there, and that is going to give him some vital information, as he knows now there's one just around the corner. He'll put some pre-fire shots in, but won't manage to land any of them as the Supremacy player just dips himself back into the safety of sight, and that is going to allow Steagy to move into those yellow stairs proper without much of a challenge. And we can see now that garage wall being opened up, and that is something that saw some success against GoSkilla almost in the last round, but they did just manage to clutch it out at the last by running down that clock. But it certainly was hairy, so they've recognised the strength in getting that garage door open, and that's going to be the plant they're looking for. 45 seconds to go.
This is looking solid from GoSkilla. They've done everything they needed to do. They have mid-floor control. They have sanctioned off the flank, sure. we do know that Nomad has been banned out specifically to allow Roamers to have a little bit more fun with themselves, but they've got the buck in. They've cleared out the majority of B-bomb site. Echo is still alive, so they need to get Oscar Mosca in a position to eliminate these Echo drones. K6 will find Panari. This could give K6 the go-ahead to go for his lurk and start flanking. DJs as well will find move, and well, this is starting to crash down for GoSkilla. A push which looked to be a pretty strong one is now crumbling at the seams. Oscar Mosca out of nowhere finds a double kill on the DJs, and beside it another one. Oscar Mosca going incredibly strong. Tactus finds Kaletsky a 1 versus 2. Not enough time for the IQ. K6 finish them off, but hey, what a play, what a shot from Oscar Mosca.
What an attempt there, getting himself in on that rear rush and picking himself up an unbelievable 3k, but unfortunately it just wasn't enough for his team come the final whistle, as Supremacy managed to just hang on in there, keep their angles and finish out the round. But that was certainly close, and as I said previously, the indication for me there is on the strongest site. GoSkilla have actually come very close there, so I think Supremacy might just struggle when they have to move away from that garage site now onto console.
Head to upstairs for Supremacy. Looking at their operator selections compared to what we've seen from GoSkilla, they're very heavy on the one speeds. They like their free armors. They like them heavy, and they certainly are playing to that strength of the whole ACOG scenario that you have with console. There's a lot of long angles, spawn peaks are always going to be a thing inside of Rainbow Six. Up to the attackers to be ready for those. Diggy, where is he? Where's my man? It's not looking too strong at the moment, but hey, bring him on Ash, and you'll start to see him do decent with R4C. I say decent, absolutely nuclear like he did do last time, but as it is, Panari on the Ash. Supremacy looking to extend in towards potentially that admin, trying to hold that side of things. They have mute jammers, they have some goo mines there as well. And GoSkilla, well, they've all spawned over towards that east side, so that means they will be looking towards admin and are looking for a meeting room plant.
Panari then just applying some early pressure to admin, getting those windows shot out, and he's going to get up there with his drone. He's got a second man with him as well, so as you said, going to be a strong admin push here by the looks of things. There are no Supremacy operators playing directly in admin, but it looks like we've got one in the copy room and then one just at the meeting room area as well, so they're certainly not ignoring admin, and they are trying to put pressure on Move and on Panari at those windows as best they can, but it's not an easy challenge, and I imagine that I would expect GoSkilla are going to get some boots on the ground in admin here and start to use that as a beachhead to push forward, as you say, looking to plant towards that meeting room area. We can see there on the drone, Move's got himself in, and just indicating a goo man as well. We had Legion playing in that copy room area, but he's just going to have backed out of there, and Alive is going to get that first kill on to Panari, and that's a run out from the dock, as you said, using those the 3 armors, and even managing to get a run out with the loud noises of their movement, and he's going to get a second from Alive. How about that with a kill onto Oscar Mosca? That's 2 on the dock, putting that ACOG to fantastic use, and surely the call out went out from Panari where he'd been hit from. How can he be allowed to get a second from there?
You have to give credit to him, and well, just incredible. Absolutely incredible from this man. What have I said? This guy is one of the top fraggers we have here in Challenge League for EU, and just absolutely proving it. Kalensky does get a down, but of course he has a duck, so he can pick himself back up. Doki-san, wherever you are, wherever you're listening, take some notes, because this is what being Doc is all about.
It was certainly a good round from Alive. He got himself a 4k there. Poseidon moving in and finishing that off. You've got to ask the question, how was the Doc allowed to operate from that double door so much? Getting 1 on the run out there, it happens. Getting, I think it was at least 3 outside of the map. I think even the 4th potentially was outside of the map as well. It just can't be allowed at that stage, and one of them needed to shut him down there.
Oh, well, that was some round, and it brings Supremacy right back into it. As we will head to our next defense, and this will be the 3rd pick for Supremacy. Down to the lobby we go. Don't think we'll be seeing any split bomb site over towards that Visa side of things. and in towards the archives, so we will be sticking in our boundaries, I would say, Tim. And we'll be headed to that lobby. So the Supremacy are going to be bringing the castle, just like we've seen from the players of GoSkilla. I'm curious to see how the players of GoSkilla will cope with these castle barricades. Remember, they're really only, well, you could say 2 ways, and that's going to be the Ash breaching rounds, and also, if they want to go for it, they could use X-Kairos pellets as well. So there is options here. They're not bringing operators like Sophia, which I find a little bit strange. They're really headstrong on bringing the Capitale, which hasn't done a whole lot of things that I've been seeing.
No, we've really not seen any use for the Capitale. I don't even remember seeing one of his asphyxiating bolts or smoke arrows deployed, to be honest. It's not to say they haven't, but we certainly haven't seen it happen, and that would suggest that it's not been used to any great effect. We're going to have a couple of operators, Echo, K6 upstairs. No surprises there. They're going to be looking to hold on to that top floor for as long as they can do, I'm sure. And it looks like Panari is going to be looking to go in with move again, just the same as we saw last time out. This time they're going to have to do a much better job of protecting them from alive. I'm sure he's going to be keen to continue that aggression if he can do, but he is on the castle this time, so that changes things up a little bit. And I think given the lack of resistance there, Panari and Move can be fairly confident about getting themselves in. Move triggers 1 Legion mine. Panari will shoot the one underneath his window out, but that is going to tell Legion that we've got somebody moving into admin now, and that's going to allow them to just start turning the focus towards that side of the map. And this is going to be an essential minute or so now as Panari and Move in and just try to clear out that top floor. If they manage to wipe through there, then things could get dangerous. But who else but that man again, alive, stepping up with a kill onto Oscar Mosca and just starting things for his team from the castle. And that is the IQ off the board. Always an important operator to lose.
Especially whenever Echo has been such a crucial operator for Intel just throughout this entire Season 9 and even Season 8. He has really stepped up, and that's why we see the ban rate just accelerating to a different level. Alive, finds moves. That's going to be butt gone, but the refrag's there from Panari. Above, finds Alive, but still alive. He's managed to get his frag for himself. Alive has been very, very spacious in the operator's been playing. He's really a massive operator pool. You have to give credit to him, and still managing to drop frags. Hard thing to do. Now he's looking to enter in. Finds Poseidon. Nice snappy headshot. But still, the damage has been done to him. 3 versus 3. It's down to Panari, Stiggy, and Kalinski. Finally, the fire arrow. It does something.
There we go, we see it used. As you say, 3 versus 2 now. Stiggy looking to move in through that main door. GoSkilla certainly in a powerful position here, but we do still have one player on the top floor looking to make a challenge. We've got Tactis downstairs with that Maestro, just looking to defend the usual plant spots. He's just going to spray out of the window, hoping to pick up a cheeky headshot, probably from a wallbang, but he won't be successful. So we've got Maestro just looking to keep holding this angle, and there comes that all-important Capitale utility. That's exactly what we've been talking about. The best that Maestro can hope to do is to just fire pot shots through the smoke there and see what he can get, but it's not going to get him any joy. He gets onto his cam and takes a few spots of damage, but again we've seen Kalinski on an Echo fail to stop a diffuser. How many times tonight are we going to see Echoes in play and diffusers just go straight down without any challenge from the Yokais? K6 with a good kill onto Stieg as he tries to just fire up this retake. They need to get themselves onto site. Maestro gets peeked out by Panari, taking the kill onto Tactis. K6 from the top floor has it all to do. 1 versus 2. He moves out to get the operator out there on spiral stairs. That's Panari. Can K6 take this final kill? He needs to get himself onto the diffuser. I think he's just about run out of time, and that is unfortunate for K6. Great effort by him, but it just won't be enough. The answer there having been for K6 to have got that diffuse stopped in the first place with the Yokai.
I don't know what it is about Echoes tonight. It's been very all over the show. Have none of these guys watched Goga before play Echo? Because they honestly should, because he plays it pretty damn well. Probably the best Echo I've seen, so it may be something that teams need to look in consideration. If you're going to play an operator that is designed to disrupt the plant and gain intel, why are you not just on your drone waiting? Sure, there's an IQ. Just hide your drone in a corner until you get the call out that they're planting, and you just quickly jump on it, jump up, zap them. That's it. That's all you need to do. It doesn't sound very difficult, Tim. But then again, do you think me and you could have done it?
No.
Just a no.
Just a straight no. To be fair, though, you've got to remember there, Demo. Yes, you pick up on the IQ, but Alive took IQ out in the first 35 seconds of the round.
True.
So IQ wasn't even on the board. So I'd have to imagine at that point that at least one of the Yokai drones, if not both, were still alive and well. And where are you going to position an IQ drone on a lobby hold? You position it near the round desk because that's where it's likely to be needed. So even keeping it out in the closet, keeping it anywhere, like you say, so it can just be moved quickly into position, it really should have been done there. Moving to round number 10 then, 5-4 in favour of GoSkilla here, and I'm sure they are going to be looking to get themselves a little bit of momentum now, having got that win. It's been very back and forth, the same that we've seen with these games all night long. We haven't seen anything other than the M&M game go to any real sort of dominant victory. It's been very, very close, fought down to the wire, and seriously entertaining for the second to last week of Challenger League, with teams bouncing up and down in those positions as well. Panari just droning out the admin office there, but his drone will be shot, so he knows that there's somebody in or around there. The goo mine will be taken out, which suggests to me he's going to look to get repelled in there quickly, but you can see one of the silhouettes from Supremacy just led down on a desk there. Not sure that he's been drawn out, so if they are not aware, this could be a little bit of a bloodbath for the Legion of Supremacy here. Dijus, if he hears him having come in, but it doesn't look like he has, so he's just going to get himself up now, and that will be the kill onto Move. And what a mistake from GoSkilla. That could really cost them. If he gets Panari here, then this really is serious lack of droning from GoSkilla, but Panari will move in and get a fantastic headshot onto Dijus, and he's going to be challenged by a second by the looks of things as he moves through into that meeting room area. But 1 minute 30 to go. The Roma's doing a reasonable job there. Just Dijus getting the kill onto the book and also wasting half of the round.
Still one Roma to deal with. K6, we know he's been playing a little bit weaker this matchup, but certainly if he starts pulling numbers that he did on Oregon, then, well, they still have a chance. Panari just going to leave the Roamer, leave up to Oscar Mosca, and he will bite the dust. K6 is there, finds a headshot. German operators battle out, and it will be the Jaeger winning this one as it goes into a 3 versus 4. This has drawn Panari's attention to now challenge in towards this Roamer. He has somehow ended up inside of the admin. Panari still cautious, so this does leave essentially a 2 versus 3 with Kalinski and Stiggy having to try and move their way in and start creating a beachhead. The ban of pellets will start to go off. No Bandit or Kaid. Just try and stop these ex-Kairoses, which we have seen work before on a map like Consulate. Stiggy holding the yellow stairs cross, but again, nobody's going to be peeking it, just like Supremacy. No, they have the control. It's on the pressure for GoSkilla. K6 tries to come in for the approach, but Panari, he's been great at taking these one-on-one battles with these roamers. Kalinski still outside looking for an option. Should be able to make his way in through that vaultable hole he's made. 30 seconds to go. This is going to be close.
It is going to be close indeed. Kalinski just playing the angles at the minute, seeing if he can get one of those operators picked up. He knows that it's 3 versus 3 at this point. There would be real value if he could get one, but he needs to be very aware of that timer just ticking down now to 10 seconds. He's going to move in and have the opportunity to get a plant down potentially. Here it comes, Stiggy with a double kill, and then will be taken out by Tactis. 1 versus 2. Alive gets a kill onto Panari. That leaves us 1 versus 1. The plant will be stuck from Kalinski, but we are 1 versus 1, and look at the man left alive. Not only is it alive, but he's on the Maestro as well, so he puts serious damage now onto the Kalinski from the Maestro cam, leaving him one shot. He will go in and finish him off with the Alder. Great plays, great awareness there from Alive to use that Maestro cam and make the gunfight easier for him, stack the chips in his favour, and he'll move in for that counter defuse. Great plays from Supremacy.
There was a moment there where I thought Habana was going to die to the evil eye, and that would have been pretty comical, you have to admit. But hey, Live, clutching up. This man, boy, even though it looks to be that Supremacy, that door is slowly shutting for them making playoffs, I think Alive is someone who's really stood out for me this entire season. He's been that solid player for Supremacy. It just kind of brings me back to 2 seasons ago inside a Challenger League where it was season number 7. That was whenever IDK were playing inside of this league. Alive, once again, he was a real big stepping stone. I've talked about it before. He then got picked up by Panics on Mocket. They went to Paris. They took Alive off these striking operators, and Alive then started to deteriorate a little bit. And then, unfortunately, we did see him get dropped from Rocket, went back to Supremacy, who was, as we knew, already relegated at that stage. And then Supremacy here they are, and they're looking to try and press on and give themselves just a little bit of fighting spirit, bit of a hope. I'm pretty sure if Supremacy lose this, then I think that's them done for this season. But again, we have to do the math. We'll let the number crunchers do that. But overall, both teams exceptionally well today. Panari and Alive playing exceptionally well. Panari 13-7. Then you look at everybody else in this team.
Yeah, I think that's the problem there. He really needs those other guys to step up. As we commented, Steegi has played so well all through the season, but just seems to really have struggled to show up in this game so far. But he's one of those operators that you certainly can't write off, and if anybody's going to come through and just get a couple of big rounds when his team needs it, it is potentially somebody like that. We're going to see him on the Capitao again, not really being used to great effect other than on that lobby objective where he was used to get the plant down. But again, you know, I have to question that choice possibly, but I suppose he's got a good gun and he's 3 speed, so moving in and getting a good early nade kill onto D-Juice there, so that's going to be the book putting that utility to some good use, and that is exactly what GoSkilla needed at this point, was just early frags to put the man advantage in their favour. And that's also a pulse off the board. We've discussed them already, how powerful an operator pulse can be on this site. Move will get at least shot up as he goes in through that rappel, so they're certainly not giving admin up easily here, Supremacy. They want to make the challenge of it, but it's only about a quarter of Move's health, so he's certainly alive and ready to fight.
Starts to move in. Panari seems to be nothing can stop this man. This is just giving me memories of Panari back in Year 2 Season 2, Year 2 Season 3. Well, Year 2 Season 3 he got demoted to not playing Ash because Counter Raketti is a thing. But overall, I remember Panari even back in Year 1, whenever he was with Ents, even whenever he was with Euronics Gaming way back when, he was an Ash player. He was a very aggressive Alive. Takes a Claymore to the face. Still manages to survive because he has a free armor. But quite surprised. There we go. Finally, Oscar Mosca. Surprised. I was waiting for him to get killed because surely that's Oscar Mosca's Claymore. He should know somebody's at the front door. And that's going to be a dock off the board. The main fragger. And this is surely setting up for a GoSkilla win.
Certainly looks that way, coming towards the final minute now. We are 5 versus 3. Remember that this will take GoSkilla on to match point. Steegi just put in that asphyxiating bolt to good use, taking further health off Poseidon, making it very difficult for him to continue playing in connector, and that is a bad C4 toss from Poseidon. He will make it now out onto the balcony, but he won't do any damage with it at all. That allows Kolensky to get into sight and start planting as Steegi moves in to try and do something about it. Poseidon will be killed. Oscar Mosca with the kill onto Tactis, leaving us 1 versus 5 now. He will use the Echo drone, as we've been complaining about all night, Demo, to get the diffusers from going down, but ultimately it's down to Move to get in there, finish off K6, and that will be the round to GoSkilla. Sets them up for the game point now.
That is just as standard as you like from an attacker-sided win on a console office. They take control of admin, they get the early frag. Alive tried his best to try and do that monkey play that he did the earlier rounds. We got that 4K on the dock. This time, the players from GoSkilla were ready, especially Oscar Mosca. And then from there, just an easy execute. Sure, yes, we talked about Echo needs to be there for the drones. But in that time, just literally too much to go with for GoSkilla. He had 40 seconds on the clock. K6 cannot stall out the round that long before he gets pressured. Well, just unfortunate to say the least. This sets up GoSkilla nicely for a draw, and I'm pretty sure this has almost definitely secured their spot inside of playoffs, since they have managed to get at least a point, which kind of sends them over the gap between End Gaming, and even if they take that win, well then, that will be it. And if I'm not mistaken, because Supremacy then, if they do lose this match, that would mean Trust Gaming also then go through. That means we have our 4 teams.
Indeed it would. So we are now in round number 12, and it's still all to play for. Supremacy needing every point they can get. As we've already said, we're not 100% sure how it leaves them in terms of whether they are out or not, but one thing is for sure, even with a draw, it puts them in a dire situation in terms of their life in the Challenger League. I am sure GoSkilla are going to be trying to finish this here and now. They've just had a very good round here on console. It's going to be difficult for Supremacy. That much is clear. If they let Panari and Move have just been getting into admin reasonably easily so far, and if they allow that to be the case again, I think they're going to find the pressure very quickly mounting against them. So we're going to see the drones coming out now from Panari. Do we have any presence in admin at all? He sees the Yokai drone there, so he knows that at least admin is being watched, but it doesn't look like there's any presence inside of admin at all. So that's going to allow Move to start thinking about rappelling in and getting himself in there. He's just getting his gun trained to see if there's anybody he can pick up from the corridor, but there won't be. Nobody's playing any closer to admin than Long Desk, and I think this could be a little bit of a problem for Supremacy, as it's going to allow a real beachhead to develop here for GoSkilla.
Panari looking to enter in free admin, just like we've seen him do before. For GoSkilla, it's looked very clean for their console takes. Last time, they did win it. The time before, Supremacy did defend that, but there was a bit of sloppiness now and again from GoSkilla, and that was just Alive flying out of his skin inside of that round. Panari looking to enter in from below. He will be up against that Legion, up against DJus, but just decides to not take the battle. Holds back. Not sure. I think Oscar Mosca may be looking for a pulse, potentially. I think that's what he's trying to go for. Panari does use one reaching around, but that ADS will be enough to take that up, but I'm sure he can't peek around with it. Other one sees the Maestro just in the corner of his screen. They know that one is inside of the spiral staircase. We could see a nade come in from the bucket any moment, as they need to be cautious of an LMG with an Eggnog holding that long angle. Alive finds Stiggy. This could be on for the draw. Pulse still alive, causes issues for the defense, especially whenever GoSkilla are heavily focused around the plant rather than going for the kills and flooding the bomb site. No! Move, what have you done? Surely this has been a throw. Oscar Mosca finds Tactus, but will that nade be enough? It goes into a 3 versus 4. Panari slivering himself in. He finds the Echo. He pushes aggressive as much as he can. Echo off the board, a 3 versus 3, but Poseidon responds with a kill for himself. Oscar Mosca on the Deju's, a 2 versus 2. Alive Poseidon, Oscar Mosca, Panari. Poseidon wins it. It will be a 1 versus 2. Oscar Mosca going up against Alive right beside Circle Desk. Is this it? Could it be Alive being the victor? Could Supremacy cause the upset? At least take a draw? No, Oscar Mosca 1 versus 1 versus Poseidon. We've seen this battle before. IQ versus Jaeger. How's it going to go? Last time Jaeger was inside the corner beside A. He has moved in towards the connector. Has to go for the kill. Time is ticking down. 10 seconds. Will he push? Will he plant? He swings on round, but no. Poseidon finish it. A heartbreaker for GoSkilla. Supremacy at least get a draw. My oh my, what a round, Tim.
What a round indeed. Another one of those that just went backwards and forwards and came down to a 1 versus 1. I honestly thought he was going to move in there and get that kill then. It seemed that he'd got the ping just as he was moving in. I thought he was going to even pre-fire that corner. But fortunately for Poseidon, he didn't, and that allowed Supremacy to just close that one out. What a round for what a night for Supremacy. You know, look at that. 4 points out of 6 tonight, and I think, you know, there could have been an argument to say they'd have got none.
So if I'm not mistaken, then they should secure GoSkilla their spot since they at least got the point. So GoSkilla then, I believe this then sets them to 22 points. So they are ahead of M&M, I do believe. You know what? I'm not even going to try and guess what it is. Either way, we know that M&M have a confirmed spot. We know this since they are second. So at the moment, I actually believe it's going to be tied between GoSkilla and M&M. So both of them have secured their positions. I don't know about Trust, because Trust, I believe, are still playing against Team Vitality. So we'll have to see how that goes in. Trust are not out of it yet, so there is still potential here for some of the other teams. But that is, of course, all leading to Trust losing both of their matches next week, which we don't know if that could happen yet.
Indeed. It's just setting us up for a fantastic last week. If nothing else, it's going to be playing for those seeded positions and just exactly where everybody falls and therefore who is going to play against who. But also, let's not forget that battle at the bottom end as well for people to survive, people to stay. It really is going to be a cracker next week.
Well, how about we bring up the standings, if we have those available, and we'll start to see, not the standings, the results from today to see how everything kind of shaped up We'll see who won, who were the victors, who got the ties. There were a lot of ties today. GoSkilla being one of those teams who managed to take a draw against Trust, and also, just like we've seen, they did manage to take a draw right there, live, right now, for Benelux over on Rainbow Six BNL. We have Trust Gaming versus Vitality, where Vitality are winning 6-2. So I think if Vitality take that victory, which looking at it then they should, Trust then still, I don't believe, are confirmed their scorings. Eminem versus Pac was their first game tonight, 7-1. Extreme versus End on the other channel, 7-5. GoSkilla and Trust, like we've talked about, a draw. Supremacy, Vitality, 7-5. Eminem, Extreme, very good match as well, 6-6. What we've just seen, Supremacy, GoSkilla, a tie as well. And another big upset on the other side, Pact beating End this evening.
Yeah, what a fantastic evening of Siege we've had. Great advert for the game. I really enjoyed that Eminem Extreme match. It was really something, backwards and forwards. But we've been absolutely spoilt. The Supremacy Vitality match as well here on the UK channel was fantastic to watch. So a great night of entertaining Siege.
Overall, I think that's going to be us done for this evening, but we still have one more week left, along with, of course, those playoffs. We already know 3 confirmed teams, Team Vitality, Eminem, and GoSkilla, but there's still seeding to be done, so we have those matches next week, and we'll see who falls where. There is technically still a potential for Vitality to not even gain that first seed. Well, depends if Trust manage to make an incredible comeback, but if Vitality beat Trust here tonight, then they will confirm their #1 seed position, no matter what happens next week. Any final remarks from you, Tim, for Challenger League as a whole?
No, I've really enjoyed my involvement. This has been my first time involved with Challenger League. 2 weeks casting, been an awful lot of fun. A real fantastic level of gameplay as well. So many of these teams are primed and ready to go into Pro League and to challenge teams in there as well. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to how it plays out, and hopefully I'll be back for some more in future.
That's a goodbye from Tim, goodbye from me, and also thank you to our production, who have made everything so much more smoother, makes everything run so firmly. And well, we will be back next week at the same time, at 6 o'clock UK time, or 7 o'clock for any Central European time. But until then, guys, it's going to be us done, signing off.